from Cuba. He won 388 amateur fights while part of the highly respected Cuban national team, then defected to Mexico 4 years ago to turn pro. 12 months ago, Izquierdo made it to ShoBox, faced Nick DeSalle in a showdown between then unbeaten lightweights, and absolutely exposed him. As Steve mentioned at the top, Izquierdo was the busier, more effective guy. Didn't use his jab a lot, threw a lot of wide shots, and loaded up too much. But he beat DeSalle to the punch all night, won most of the exchanges, moved well, and made up for any lack of polish with volume punching and quickness to bang out a unanimous decision and remain unbeaten. Since that win last January, Izquierdo lost for the first time, dropping a decision to veteran Cesar Soto in April. Jose Izquierdo is now 16-1-1, 13 KOs. What's behind the numbers, Steve?
Well, Nick, Cuban on the shelf. Izquierdo's been in the ring only once since his ShoBox win over Casal, and not at all since April. Bad news lost. As Nick said, Izquierdo lost his most recent fight to Soto. The good news, Soto's a former world titleist, and the fight was in Soto's hometown. The bad news, Soto's a blown-up featherweight, and he had won 2 of his previous 14. And soft gloves. Izquierdo's 13 KOs are more the result of soft matchmaking than natural power. He's faced only 6 fighters with winning records.
So we're ready for the new year on ShoBox to begin. Undefeated Anthony Peterson facing Jose Izquierdo in a lightweight bout scheduled for 10 rounds. Let's go to ring announcer M. Mark Thero.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hard Rock Casino Hotel in beautiful Biloxi, Mississippi presents ShoBox, the new generation, in association with Prize Fight Promotions and Showtime. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the Mississippi State Athletic Commission. The chairman is John Noah H. Lewis. The attending executive director at ringside, Patrick Turner. This is your first ShoBox event of the evening. It is scheduled for 10 rounds in the lightweight division. Your referee for this event from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Steve Hughes. Introducing now the principals first in the blue corner to my right, weighing 135.9 pounds, pro record, 16 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw. He has 13 knockouts. El hijo de la República de Cuba, ahora viviendo en la República de México. Here is Jose Izquierdo. His opponent in the red corner, weighing 135.7 pounds. His professional record, undefeated in 25 professional contests. He has 18 knockouts. He hails from Washington, D.C. and boxes out of Memphis, Tennessee. Here is Anthony Peterson. 10 rounds, lightweight.
All right, Peterson, Antonio. All right, fighters, you've already received your instructions in the dressing room. I remind you to listen to me at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
Izquierdo struggled to make weight. He lost 3 pounds yesterday. He seemed to me a bit out of focus when he was taken off a card in LA and put on this one.
And unified rules of boxing apply. No standing 8 or 3 knockdown rule. Our referee, Keith Hughes, to get this one going. That'll be a key point, Steve. You hit on Jose Izquierdo. Is his head really here? He thought he was fighting in LA, but he grabbed the opportunity to try to knock off Anthony Peterson. Peterson on the right. You know, we've seen these guys repeatedly. It's hard to tell them apart, and both of the Petersons were in the ring for the introduction, so we got both of them. We got a taste of Lamont, who you'll see later in the main event, but now it's Anthony in the white, well, the redskin colors. How about that? Against Izquierdo in the Cuban colors, and Izquierdo coming in behind the jab and fighting fast, which is what he's really got to do with this guy. Anthony, a big puncher.
Tribute to Sean Taylor on Anthony Peterson's Redskin trunks. You know what? Already Izquierdo warned by referee Keith Hughes. Against Casal, Izquierdo was pretty chippy, Nick, pretty dirty.
Yeah,
and Peterson knows about that reputation.
And vows not to retaliate. Peterson comfortable on the inside. And poking Izquierdo with that jab from outside. Izquierdo coming in wide again, so Peterson, the openings look to be up the middle, but Steve Peterson's going to have a guy who really fights like a buzzsaw. Izquierdo is very tricky that way. We saw him beat Casal with a punch all night, but Casal a very different kind of fighter than Anthony Peterson.
Well, I was curious as to what kind of approach Izquierdo was going to take, because at times with Casal, Nick, he fought aggressively. At times he boxed, and Peterson wanted to come forward from the start in this fight. Right now, all the punches are being thrown by Izquierdo. He's not landing much. Peterson's defense is tight, but yeah, good sign for Izquierdo that he's taking the initiative.
Peterson taking his time, and his best punch so far, the jab, and a power jab in the face. But Izquierdo, one thing I already like, he's going to the body. And once in a while, Lamont Peterson will give up that shot to the body. Izquierdo, good pace to this fight. Nice counter right hand over the top from Peterson. Now he misses wide himself. He's a little bit short, but fighting very much under control. And Izquierdo, Steve, I think his head definitely is here and looks ready for Anthony Peterson based on 2 minutes of his fight.
I agree, but I'll tell you, that one right hand, the two right hands by Anthony were more effective than the previous, 30 punches by Izquierdo.
Yeah, Izquierdo with a high knockout rate over 80%, but definitely Anthony clearly, he is the heavier puncher.
See, Anthony likes to put on the earmuffs and block shots, roll with his left shoulder a little bit a la Mayweather. What I want to see him do as he moves into world-class status is counter when he does that. Not just block shots, but block and throw back, especially with the right hand.
Especially with the right hand. I agree with you. I've always liked his left hook, but the right hand will get him out of danger that way. And when he keeps punching, those tail end shots again. So it's the kind of combinations you would like to see from him. Good pace to this first round as we close it out here in Biloxi, Mississippi. And Izquierdo vowed to be the quicker guy tonight. Anthony Peterson, meanwhile, very clear on what he wants to do.
I know he like to go at people. He's real aggressive, wide swinging, kind of dirty at times. What I want to do is really get to the body real early. Nobody likes to get to the body, but I'm going to stay to the body consistently all night, until he give in.
To your right, angles are killing. You feel me? He just throwing. He trying to break you up. That ain't going to happen today. Lead when you have to. Other than that, if you can roll and slip, look for the counter. Okay?
You heard Anthony say in that soundbite, same thing I said, watch out for the chippiness of Izquierdo. Well, we weren't 20 seconds into the fight where he landed that left that landed below the white waistband of Peterson. And two right hands by Peterson. You know what? First round was an example of why punch numbers can be deceiving. I gave Peterson the round, and he landed 2 punches, and Izquierdo probably threw 80.
Good point. Following up that low blow was an elbow. So we see Izquierdo pulling out everything. That's the rough stuff, and that's the kind of thing that they're trying to stay away from and not get rattled by. So it's Anthony Peterson looking composed. They want him to move a little more, and they do want him to counter with that right hand. But Izquierdo definitely looks like the quicker guy right now. Getting off first, not a bad idea.
A little bit of puffiness under the right eye of Izquierdo. Maybe from some of those jabs there.
Look at the body work again. So, again, this time left, slamming lefts to the body. I don't know how hard a puncher Izquierdo is, and I don't think he really has a great whack. But once again, if he could stay busy, outwork, and maybe surprise Peterson. This one's scheduled for 10, but Anthony absolutely in no hurry, Steve.
Stop, no punching, step back, Box.
Peterson takes those shots on the gloves, and now they tie up. Watch, see if there's an elbow or anything else. No, it breaks clean on their own. Izquierdo inside, I think that's a terrible place for him to be.
He jumps in.
And he does. He absolutely takes runs at Peterson. We've seen that in other fights. And Peterson not making him pay, not trying to time him maybe on the way in.
I'm with you, Nick. That's the key, because you're never going to have a better opportunity to hit your opponent than when he's punching. And Peterson's only offensive success so far has been when he's taken the initiative. But let me tell you, that jab comes back a little slowly from Izquierdo. Peterson's got to step in with the right hand. Just time it.
He actually did, so another big right hand from Peterson. So quality punching from Peterson, but very conservative. Looking for the openings, seeing if he could create a few, and now trying to muscle Izquierdo back.
Quit holding. Ready? Box.
And being warned by the referee Keith Hughes for holding. Now it's Izquierdo backing off, trying to punch long range. There's the combination, so he's letting his hands go. Peterson moving back under his own power, now spinning around, trying to reset. Now he's dialing in with that jab, but back with a couple of jabs comes Izquierdo, very much in this fight.
That's a nice left hook. He timed him there.
So the power starting to arrive.
Still, Nick, it's been a good round for the Cuban.
He's been a busy guy, but Peterson making most of his shots count.
That's it.
He has been short with a lot, really trying to get a measure of where Izquierdo is, and that's a tough thing to do because I think he gives angles very nicely, and if he doesn't stay there and get into a slugfest, stay too long with any kind of prolonged attacks, he could do very well. But you don't want to trade and just go to war with Anthony Peterson.
10 seconds.
Pretty close round, Steve.
It's tough to measure the effectiveness of Izquierdo's punches. Most of them are being blocked. Yeah.
Mira, no lo haces que te camine para atrás, tú no camines para atrás. Cuando te suelta el jab, cabecea para adentro y suéltale la recta y el gancho. No te esperes, cuando miras la oportunidad, tienes que reaccionar rápido.
They want Izquierdo to close the distance, which is pretty interesting.
No te hagas para atrás y levanta tus manos y vas a salir. ¿Ok?
I wonder what they're seeing in Peterson inside. The vulnerabilities.
Levántalo con el upper y con el gancho. Dos golpes, no lo más quiero uno, No lo más uno cuando estás adentro.
Izquierdo as busy in round 2 as he was in round 1. Peterson responded there with a big left hook. And Izquierdo came back with a left hook of his own to the top of Peterson's head. Izquierdo's punching in combination, never one at a time. He's going to land some because he's punching 2 and 3 at a time.
Boy, Izquierdo, volume puncher, runs at you again, loads up at times. Steve, I don't see the theory or I don't see the strategic sense of wanting him to get inside. What is he seeing in Anthony Peterson? What does this corner see in Peterson's vulnerabilities when he gets crowded?
Well, you know, they're not fighting on the inside. There hasn't been really any infighting.
But he wants him to now.
Yeah.
And he's standing in the pocket here, very content. He's the busier guy again, but as you said, Anthony Peterson blocking a lot of those shots. Peterson hammering with that overhand right. Comes back, sinks a hook to the body. And another hook just countering off those block shots. Izquierdo did sneak that right hand to the body through.
See pretty stark contrast in rounds fought. Izquierdo just doesn't have the rounds. Peterson, that's a lot of rounds for a prospect who turned pro not that long ago. You know, class of 04. Yeah. And amateur experience, well, Izquierdo from the Cuban system. And that says it all. There are no better amateur fighters in the world than the Cubans, and it's been that way for 30 years, 40 years.
Another warning from referee Keith Hughes, this time directed at Izquierdo. Now Izquierdo pokes that left through, and it's Anthony Peterson backing up for some strange reason. If he wants to create some punching room, it's another story, but you got to punch when you do that.
He's in a fight. Make no mistake, Anthony's in a fight. And to reiterate my point, he's got to do some counter-punching. He's just blocking shots.
Yeah, he's not busy enough, Steve, in my opinion. It is very early, only the third. But why even have these close rounds unless he's absolutely felt everything Izquierdo has, absolutely can walk through his power he feels when he's good and ready. That overhand right, his best punch. He's trying to land that hook to the body. Peterson on the left. So he picks up the pace a little bit here. Final minute of round 3. These are lightweight scheduled for 10. Nick Charles, Steve Farhood, happy you could join us. Our first ShoBox of 2008. We're in Biloxi, Mississippi for a look at the Peterson brothers. And Anthony right now undefeated like his brother, but in tough in a very competitive match against Jose Izquierdo.
And Izquierdo was in our first ShoBox show of 2007 against Casal. 1 day difference, right?
Yeah. And Mississippi also.
Stop! Come on.
That time Peterson a little chippy during the clinch hitting.
You see, Steve, there's really very little on Izquierdo's shots. That doesn't mean he can't win the fight.
Well, I think he won this round.
Listen, me personally, I think you laying there too long, son. I got to have the jab and angles with this bull. You understand me? After you do that, Anthony, you don't have to lay there and act or get no return for what he shoot. Let's keep him on angles. Jab in his mouth all day long. I think we're trying to load up too much and catch him with that brick hook of yours to the body. Don't worry about that. Just touch him. It's going to open up. He right there. He ain't going nowhere. He don't have no lateral movement. Really, if you go ahead on to put the pressure up, turn it up, he done, man. Let's keep touching him. Every shot don't have to be a knockout shot. You got me? Touch him when the hole open up. Go in it. All right? And stop laying there. Wait for somebody to break it.
We head to the 4th. You heard the clear instructions from Barry Hunter. Meanwhile, in the blue corner, Jose Izquierdo's corner, recanting again. Back Peterson up. Don't back up yourself. We'll see.
Nick, early in the Casal fight, remember Izquierdo had some balance problems. I haven't seen those.
No, exactly. He said he was working on them, but famous last words. Yeah, he went down under his own power, it seemed, in that fight. Probably the only mistake he made. Do you agree with Hunter that Izquierdo doesn't give you lateral movement?
No, I do agree with it. I think the problem is very simple. When Izquierdo's punching, he's punching freely because nothing's coming back. No counter shots.
3 shots could win rounds, and there we go, just poking those little shots. A lot of them blocked, a lot of them not scoring, but there, with a free hand, he landed with that short little left.
Izquierdo punching Peterson, I'd bet 3-2, and that can definitely affect the judges, even if the shots aren't landing.
There, Peterson trying to string combinations together now. Center of the ring, now he's got to get busier. Is he waiting to unload here with the hook again? Yeah, he's going to the body there, right then a left. As he rams those body shots home. And back comes Izquierdo, jabbing to the body, then going upstairs. So again, the punch volume, he is out punching Anthony Peterson. This is when Peterson punch in between, like now.
Stop! No punching. Come on. Let's keep it clean. Come on, guys.
Look, another close round, but Izquierdo, now they'll slug, and Izquierdo backs up, pulls not quite straight back.
Izquierdo's mouth now open when he's punching. Not a good sign because there's still a minute to go in this round.
Now on the turn, Izquierdo tries an overhand right of his own. He's a short guy at really 5'5", 5'6".
Nick, he's pecking and poking, and it's working.
Come on, guys, punch.
Right.
Stop.
Anthony Peterson has got the power, but so far not fighting. He's fighting in control, you could say at best, but not the kind of intensity you would like to see. He's very focused, but he's taken a lot of shots and now opens up with body shots again. Cuban in Peterson's face. I think the Cuban's got some lateral movement here. Now he walked into the shot.
That was a nice left hook.
Let him go, Antonio.
But Peterson will not free himself. He's just shaking it off and letting the Cuban restart. Now looking for that counter right hand.
10 seconds.
So it looks like Anthony Peterson starting to time Jose Izquierdo a little.
Come on, ref. He keeps on hitting with the shoulder. Come on, you better be fair, man. You're going to have to keep him up, too. Now, come on. That's like 4 times already.
Give me the water.
Jose Izquierdo, as we said, a product of the Cuban system. And like another well-known Cuban champion, Joel Casamayor, Izquierdo seems to know a lot of the tricks. Did he learn them in the Cuban system as an amateur? Well, we're going to take a look at some of them here. The old thumb in the eye. Left hand very low right there. Jabs low. And wow, that's a double left hook low. And you notice he does it when the referee is on his right side, so the referee has trouble seeing that. That's a veteran move.
Throwing a couple of elbows, and he's trying to rough up Peterson. You know, Anthony Peterson has been matched carefully. This is an excellent test so far. Through 4, scheduled 10. He's been 10 before. But, you know, he would rather, Steve, Peterson would rather be inside. He sees shots better. He can plant, use his power. But when he's inside, I don't see him busy enough. Like here. He seems to be waiting. How do you have it?
Here we go.
I have it 2 apiece. I've given Izquierdo the 3rd and 4th rounds.
Wow. Izquierdo's corner between rounds, imploring him to let his right hand go. Boy, he's short with that. He looks very awkward.
You know, Nick, Izquierdo took this fight. Granted, he was training for another fight, but he took this fight on what, 4 or 5 days notice.
Exactly.
And you can make the argument, I think this at least, that he was a better opponent than the original. Guadalupe Rosales, a tough guy with 2 losses, but style-wise, Izquierdo quicker than Rosales, and a natural lightweight Rosales, 130-pounder. So, absolutely. You know, Peterson's in a little tougher than you would think he'd be in with a substitute.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't too happy about it. And now gets wrestled down in front of us. No knockdown there. That's a shove down.
But you're right.
Izquierdo, just a much busier guy. Rosales is the guy that fought in spurts, and I thought Anthony could just take it to him and don't let him breathe. But it's Izquierdo, the guy with the work rate here.
And I'll tell you, we talked about Izquierdo being a little on the dirty side. Peterson's given it back in a couple of ways. The little body slam before, and he shoulder butts a lot on the inside with his left shoulder. Look for that.
Well, they talked about not retaliating, but they got different tactics, right? So I guess that's not retaliation. Elbow for elbow, low blow for low blow. At least we haven't seen a headbutt yet.
And as we approach the halfway mark, keep in mind, Izquierdo struggled to make weight. Didn't even bother trying to make weight the first time. He knew he was 3 pounds over. And he made 2 trips to the scales to make the 136 that was contracted.
And Steve, the other thing, Anthony Peterson, the Peterson brothers have had a strength and conditioning coach for about a year, and they feel it's given them, they both, the unison, the answer is, gives them the, they could really throw every shot hard. They feel they're not worried about fatigue. They feel they could fight all night because they feel they're in the best condition of their life. But again, I don't see the fire from Anthony Peterson. Not saying he's not winning the fight, but I just see a lack of that real intensity.
Izquierdo's corner going nuts, screaming about a rabbit punch. It's been a better round for Peterson. If he doesn't dominate the second half of the round, given Izquierdo's weight problems, I will be surprised. That will not be a big positive for Anthony Peterson.
Halfway through.
Don't look for no help from this referee. You got it? None at all. You got to go to work. You got to take matters in your own hands. You feel me? Every time you turn around, ref, you got to help us out with them headbutts. Listen, you turn around, when you get close, sidestep. Don't lay there behind the knee. You got me? He bending your arm and everything, the ref letting them get away with it. But if you ain't there to hold, he can't hold you. Feel me?
Action from round 5. Anthony Peterson, no choir boy himself. There's a little push to the ground, and then he says to the ref, hey, who, me? I didn't do anything. Later in the round, that's a right hand. Now, Izquierdo leaned forward, and that's why Peterson's right hand landed behind the neck in rapid punch form. It always takes 2 for that foul to be committed.
You know, we should add that besides saying he wouldn't retaliate, but he said if the ref isn't going to help him, he told us yesterday that he would take matters into his own hands. And those hands were shoved. I haven't seen the headbutts, Steve, but Barry Hunter.
No, I haven't either.
Let's go. Right clean, right clean, right clean.
Peterson looking into the crowd saying he's holding me, he's holding me.
You don't want to look for help there.
Wow, that's a big left hook right hand by Peterson.
Now Peterson's starting to put it together. Now to the body down, hammering with an overhand right, but back comes Izquierdo with a nice left hand. Body shots there, trying to break through upstairs.
Stop, no punching, no punching.
They want, actually, Izquierdo to fight low. I mean, he is the shorter guy. Go underneath, land that right hand to the body, and he's trying. He's got it cocked. He's protecting his chin a little bit, but he hasn't unloaded it enough. And now we see the jab come out and the body shots, right, then a left hook from Anthony Peterson.
A little wink from Peterson to Izquierdo's corner. I see a subtle change, Nick. Peterson is forcing a faster pace. They're fighting on the inside more. That's all good for Peterson. As the rounds mount, I will not be surprised if Izquierdo wants to fight in spots.
Steve, I'm just disappointed that Peterson's, I don't think he's doing enough inside. We'll see an occasional right hand when he's got him up close, when they're clinching, when he's got a free hand, but he's just not busy enough like here.
Let him go, Antonio.
Trying to create some punching room, effectively being tied up. Now maybe Izquierdo, Steve, you could be on it, but Izquierdo taking a little bit of a breather, trying to slow the action. Now Peterson trying to get on the jab.
Let him go, Antonio.
This is where he wants to be, purportedly inside. There's a good left hand from Peterson, got the crowd interested.
Very important here for Anthony Peterson to show he's a professional and keep his poise. I talked about poise before, but this is a fighter who in 25 fights, say he got hurt once in round one against Luis Jose about 4 fights ago. Only time he's faced adversity.
He's had it all his way.
Yeah, so you always want to see what happens when they get tested. How you can get tested can be a lot of different ways.
Now he lets his hands go. Good flurry from Peterson. He's going to grab this round, it seems.
Well, the holding right now, there's a forearm by Peterson, but the holding is being done by the Cubans.
Both complaining to the referee in vain. Now Peterson looks like he wants to walk the Cuban down a little bit, but the Cuban trying to sink that right hand low, and he's finding a target to the body. Some of those shots partially blocked, but that right hand to the body is landing from Izquierdo. Overhand right from Peterson. Now they're in tight. Now Peterson keeps punching. But again, imploring the referee to do something, and that means he loses focus and valuable seconds there to make an impression. Can't wait till the weekend to get your fighting fix. Well, the best of Showtime Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts airs nightly at 10 o'clock on Show 2.
Amazing knockouts, heated rivalries, epic battles. You've seen it on Showtime. Now see it again on Show Sports Presents. Every night, Monday through Friday at 10, only on Show 2.
I've already told you a couple of times, you don't need to move back. You need to dig underneath and shoot that right. Why are you holding it back? Every time he goes to grab you, you should be throwing that right hand. And you cannot hit him from a long distance. You have got to go after him inside.
Yeah, we like hearing that. Izquierdo, they want him to go for it a little bit more. Pick it up. You got to take some chances, though, if you're going to get inside on Anthony Peterson. But so far, I think he's held his own inside simply because Peterson hasn't made him pay enough. Now he does. He landed a right seconds before that hook found a home to the jaw of Izquierdo. Through 6, Steve. How do you have it now?
58-56 for Peterson. I've given him the last 2 rounds. And this fight, Nick, it seems very clear to me what's happened. Izquierdo came out fast, brought a lot of energy. He doesn't have 10 rounds of energy in him, so he's holding more now, fighting less. It's up to Peterson to take advantage of that. Peterson's young, untested, but he's been 10 rounds. So he should want to make this more of a fight, not less of a fight.
Right. Let's see if he does pick it up. All about intensity. He's the bigger puncher again. Likes to pressure guys, likes to fight inside, would prefer that. Technically, he looks pretty solid. As the Cuban walked into the left hand. Is that a knockdown? It looked like he got cut, but it definitely that left hand rolled Izquierdo down. So Steve, as you hit it, maybe Izquierdo starting to step on his tongue. Looking more tired, mouth is open again, holding on.
Let him go.
That was a left hook, and it was a delayed reaction. Izquierdo decided to take a knee. The most impressive thing about that left hook, it was a counter punch.
Anthony Peterson trying to land it again. Now the right and the left, and now he drives Izquierdo back. He's going for it now. Izquierdo's in trouble. He better hold on. And now Peterson used him for a battering ram. Really open fire.
Come on, Antonio.
Izquierdo got to hold on. He doesn't want any more at this pace. He is facing some flush shots from Anthony Peterson, who has opened up in his most impressive round, dropping Izquierdo with a left hook and hammering him around the ring with some combinations that have worked.
Let him go.
See, when you're already facing a 10-8 round, you sort of want to hold your way back if you're that tired. Sometimes in the round he's lost, just try to survive and get back and just try to freshen up a little bit.
No, I agree with you, Nick. I think it's all about survival, and not just because he got knocked down this round. For Izquierdo, I think he's just out of gas.
But he's going, he's really engaging Peterson again. I give him credit for that. It makes for a more interesting fight for viewers, but I don't know if it's the smartest strategy. Just cut your losses, make it a 10-8 round, go back, and don't waste any more energy in a hopeless round.
No te quedes parado, ¿Está bien? ¿Por qué no sueltas la derecha? Let me have the water. Antonio, no te quedes parado enfrente de él haciendo nada.
What are you doing standing in front of him? Don't do that. Don't do that. Give me the water.
Vámonos, vamos, respira. Respira. Antonio,
action from round 7. We call Anthony Peterson a natural left hooker. Hook to the head, hook to the body, and Izquierdo goes down. Yeah, you know what? It was really, Nick said the knockdown blow was a cuffing shot. It was, but I think it was the hook to the body on second look that really was the reason the Cuban went down. Then later in the round, he's in survival mode. He gets hit with 3 or 4 good shots there. The right hand coming into play also. Again, Peterson now throwing in combination. Looked like the fight might have been almost ready to be stopped there. But Izquierdo, he's a veteran, knows the tricks, and he knew to hold.
Yeah, and he did fire back with something. He is game as they come, and he's falling dangerously behind, it seems. Certainly on your card, Steve.
I would say, Nick, at this point, yeah, 68-64, 4 points. Just a question of whether Peterson gets a stoppage or not.
Tricky guy, Izquierdo, and he can take a shot, obviously, so no disgrace if Peterson wins comfortably a 10-round decision. Now he's trying to box from outside. Just single shots with that jab. And Steve, that's one of the criticisms I have of Anthony. I don't feel that he's constantly on that jab in terms of really making it a power shot. And of course, this late, there may not be any point unless you're just playing it safe right now.
Interesting thing this round, Nick. It's Izquierdo who's coming forward,
which is what his corner has wanted. Easy for them to say, but now he's going backwards big time, hammering, getting hammered with a right hand as Peterson lets loose again.
No, step back, I know.
Peterson absolutely has found the mark, and he is stalking with intent now. He's changed his game.
Well, Anthony Peterson, he's been 8 or more 4 times. And he's looking for that second KO, and he may get it. I mean, he's had Izquierdo hurt now 2 or 3 or 4 times in the last 2 rounds.
And it could be just a credit to Izquierdo that he could take a crack, he could take a shot.
Oh, yeah. Well, Izquierdo had been knocked down once by Casal in the first round of that fight.
It didn't even look like it.
I know. You didn't think it was a knockdown at all. I thought maybe there was a right hand involved, but nothing major. Now they look like they're boxing on pogo stick.
But it's amazing how in the first 30 seconds, Peterson just boxed. Oh, and there's that left hand again. He gets drilled with overhand rights and he's down. Keith Hughes will take a long look as Izquierdo takes the count and is up, beating that. But there is 1 minute to go in this 8th. Anthony Peterson should close it out here.
There you go.
You know, Izquierdo, now he's holding on. Not even playing keep away, but holding on here. And Peterson allowing him to.
Well, it's up to Peterson to use his feet here just as much as his fists. He doesn't want to let Izquierdo close because Izquierdo's going to grab for dear life.
Now Izquierdo seemed to get a little bit of a second wind as he begins to put punches together. Nothing on him, but he's back in the fight. Back in the round anyway. He's going to finish this round apparently when I thought he should have been out of there.
Hold it, point. Here we go.
It's a moot point. It's a point for holding that the referee is deducting from Izquierdo. Doesn't really matter.
I got hit on the way out with that left hook. Second time down, third in the fight. He's not going to get up. Spits the mouthpiece out. He's had enough. He's had enough. And again, a tail end shot from Anthony Peterson. I can't say enough about it. He keep punching. Believe he hit him once with the left, missed with the right, but followed up and tracked him down with that left hook that finished him.
All my people back home in DC, I love y'all.
Hey, props to this guy, Anthony Peterson. Very much in control. I didn't think came out blazing, didn't show enough fire to me, but he got it done, didn't he?
Well, he did. It took him 5 rounds.
3 knockdowns. Can't complain about that.
But you can't help project. Perhaps the 2 best lightweights in the world, Juan Diaz and Michael Conceitas.
Well, we got Conceitas, yeah.
Yeah, and they're both aggressive guys. And when they fight Peterson, he's going to have to do more than just stick his gloves up, twist and turn and block shots there. He's going to have to be much more aggressive than that. We just got doused with water here. Happy New Year.
At least it's water. No, I'd rather have it be champagne, actually, but it's not blood. But here we see the loser, Jose Izquierdo, had enough. First time he's been stopped. He's now lost his last 2 fights, and he's no longer a prospect in my book, Steve. He was going into this fight, a very live prospect, I thought, but Anthony Peterson is the guy with the upside potential.
No doubt.
Peterson knocked down Izquierdo twice in this round.
Yeah, here it is, action from round 8. Izquierdo trying to stay close and hold. Peterson wouldn't let him. You see that left hook is just thrown with a lot of body leverage. I was watching Izquierdo's corner right here, Nick, because Izquierdo's looking for his corner right there for instruction. And the corner said, you know, with his hands, the corner said, stay down, stay down. Then he lifted his hands up. So the corner wanted him to continue.
Watch this left.
Yeah, that was short and sweet, that left hook that started it. Well, an impressive finish for sure.
There's the big look at the corner. Still the first knockdown in that round. Now we'll look again at the second.
Yeah, and then here's the big finish.
There's that left, and then he'll help.
It's a right to the top of the head that started it, but, you know, Izquierdo was cooked by then.
I like the way he really tracked him down and gunned him down. Steve, talk a little bit future. You mentioned Juan Diaz, of course, maybe the class of the field. They're saying they're not #1 yet. They're by the WBO.
Well, they're #1, but they're not mandatory.
They're not mandatory, right. So they're hoping is Diaz possibility of vacating. Then maybe they could fight Conceitas, who they like, and you want to stay away from Joel Casamayor at this point, I would think.
No doubt. As much as I like Peterson as a prospect, Nick, he's a prospect fringe contender. The fact that one of the organizations ranks him #1 is absurd. It's easy to pick on these organizations, but he's not a #1 fighter. Be careful what you wish for, because I don't think he's ready quite yet. Maybe the end of 08, but not the beginning of 08 for a title fight.
We're ready to make it official, and Mark Biro will do that now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes, 54 seconds of the 8th round. The winner by a knockout and still undefeated, Anthony Peterson.